The piano roll, or the key editor, is located down here on these tabs. When you click it, it brings up the piano roll for a software instrument MIDI track that you have created in Logic. If you start recording something, so the notes that you play will appear in that piano roll, and you can further edit those. So if I do a little bit of recording of a drum kit here. Okay. Let's move that a little along there. Okay. So I either double click on a region or click down on the tab, you get your piano roll that appears. And keep looping around it. Okay, fantastic. So you can see very clearly the individual notes there that I've just programmed and played in. We've got a kick drum and a snare drum and a hi-hat sound there. When you're in a piano roll, it's the best environment really for editing individual MIDI notes. You've got your zoom functions down here. You are very easily able to change notes lengths. Obviously it's not the best example on a drum kit, but certainly if you're playing a sustained instrument or sound like a piano, then you would sort of hear the note lengths vary, and you can do that by just literally clicking and dragging on the note. You can copy and paste very quickly by holding the Alt key down and adding in more notes. Okay. Okay. You can also change the volume of individual notes, and the way you do that is by clicking on this icon down the bottom. This brings up the what they call it, the hyper draw. It's sometimes called a controller lane. You click on it, and you will need to extend the controller lane up a little bit so you can see what's going on there. Okay, and now we've got individual volumes of each note, and you can click on those individually and you can adjust the velocity. So I could gradually have my bass drum getting louder and louder here with these 3 hits, and it colours it in a colour for you as well, getting more and more red the harder the velocity. Fantastic. In addition to the volume of the note, we have other MIDI controllers that are accessible in this controller lane by clicking on this arrow. So, for example, we can add pitch bends, we can draw in pitch bends, we can put in program changes to change the timbre of the sound, we can do overall volume changes of the instrument. If there's something here that you want, or if there's something that you want that is not here, that's not featured here, most things usually are, things that you tend to use regularly, pitch bend, sustain pedal, so on and so forth. You can click on Other, and it brings up all 128 MIDI controllers. And you can choose which one you want, and you can add it to the list and use it. So that's the controller lane. You can either choose to view that or not to view it. What other functions do we have in here? You can quantize, change your quantized value, quantizing a range of sort of notes at the same time. You can see there just a slight movement there of that particular note. I can swing a rhythm. Okay. So we can select and quantize notes. Pressing the Q if it doesn't seem to work for you. Okay, so if we were to change the swing value, if we went back to straight 8th notes, we can highlight our notes and then quantize them. Okay. So you find lots of other things, functions inside the piano roll. So we can copy and paste, we can lengthen notes. You've got various tools here for cutting, chopping notes, copying, pasting, erasing, so on and so forth. The same tools that you find up here on the main arrange page. If we go to the functions drop down menu, We can perform various MIDI related tasks to the individual notes, and in fact this transform option down the bottom here is really useful if you quickly want to perform a task globally on a range of different notes. So for example, fixed velocity would be equal volume of the individual notes. So I selected all my hi-hats here. Okay, and I want them all to be at the same volume, let's say 100. Go to functions, transform, fixed velocity, and pops up this transform box here, and I can fix it to 100. Select and operate. So it tells you down here, it's all on one region, it's found 16 selected events. Actually it's selected every single note there, which is not what I wanted it to do. I'll just select operate only, and that will do it on just the ones that I've highlighted, the hi-hats, and we can see now that they're all the same volume, all the same colour there, so you can tell that they're all the same velocity, and we can see that as well. There we go, all the individual velocities. Now we've got a hi-hat, it's all the same volume throughout. So you will find in that transform option there are some really nice little functions. If you want your drums to sound more loose, you can select all the notes and humanize, and that, if we just select and operate that, you can see there as I press that a couple of times, the more I press it, it just moves the notes slightly off of the rigid kind of quantization grid. You've got a few little errors and things in there which need to be deleted. It's adjusted the velocities and adjusted the time and made it sound a little bit more like a human as opposed to a robot. So those are some of the functions that you'll find inside the piano roll, the controller lane that you can access, how you drop notes in there. You can obviously draw notes in there, and you can edit them as well.